Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to get us started. All right, we need everybody to find a spot or a chair so we can get started soon. We'll give folks about another minute or so. President Lockwood?
Can you hear me? Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, well, good morning, everybody. All right, can we try that again? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you. All right. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you all today. My name is Nikki Otero Lockwood. I serve as the board president for Spokane Public Schools. Thank you all for being here. I want to acknowledge the many electeds that I believe are here or that are trying to find parking at the moment. But I will start with my colleagues on the board. We have Director Hillary Kozel. Do you want to give a wave? Yes, thank you. And Director Nicole Bishop. I don't believe we have Vice President Weiser with us yet. Do we have any of the other city council members in the room with us yet? Okay. And I believe Mary Cooney was also, haven't seen her. Okay, all right. I do want to acknowledge that we also have many students from Spokane Public Schools. Can you give us a wave? All right. Thank you. You're the reason we're here. So we're gathered here today to hear the proposal for a partnership between Spokane Public Schools and Spokane Parks. I appreciate everyone in attendance here to learn more about this endeavor and want to give gratitude to all the staff and community partners who have worked on this partnership study and proposal. We will hear from several leaders in our community to be provided an overview of the partnership, including how to access resources to learn more. Our city has a history of collaboration for the common good. We have Expo 74 as a tremendous and lasting example. And with the 2018 school bond, the Spokane City and Library worked with the school district to serve our community, allowing shared space, land trades, and smaller class size at every level. And a stadium that's widely used and very accessible. These past accomplishments stand as reminders of what we can do together locally. I can speak for the board in saying that we look forward to seeing the proposal today and to hearing from stakeholders as we work towards next steps. Now I'd like to bring Bob Anderson up here from the Spokane Parks Board. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. Good morning, and thank you for choosing to schedule part of your morning with us at the Hive, which opened in 2021 and was built in partnership with Spokane Public Schools and libraries. We have a wonderful presentation for you today, and our speakers will provide more information about the levy bond offerings. I want to tell you about how two governmental departments came together to develop the great community story. Good leaders develop consensus, while great leaders develop outcomes. Our planning team was blessed to have two great leaders, Dr. Adam Swinyard, Superintendent, Spokane Public Schools, and Garrett Jones, Director, Spokane Parks and Recreation. Dr. Swinyard I had been introduced to, but didn't really know him until these meetings started. It has been my privilege to have worked with Garrett since I started on the park board in 2018. Shortly after Parks' first levy request was moved to a later date, Garrett began revealing ideas he and Adam were discussing, meetings they had attended, or partnerships they were building. When he invited me to participate as a member of the levy committee, I was eager to start. Prior to my retirement from Eastern Washington University, I had worked almost 30 years within the state of Washington's higher education system. I was blessed to have worked with great leaders from student government, staff committees, presidents, and ad hoc committees, which are often the hardest to lead. Ad hoc committees will often spend more time strategizing how to obtain a larger share of dollar allocations instead of developing best outcomes for their community. This levy committee from day one worked to develop plans so Spokane Public Schools and parks would both succeed, resulting in the best outcome for our Spokane community, an outcome that by working together will offer more value to us all. Dr. Swinyard shared his vision of getting students off screens and outside participating in programmed activities. Parks is a city leader in providing excellent programming for all ages. In the past, schools didn't have the resources to provide the staffing, and parks didn't have the facilities to program requested after-school activities. This partnership will provide the critical resources to make our community better, not only for students, but for us all. Great leaders attract others who want to participate and build a better community. It seems each week, new partners join the campaign and offer their resources. Facilities and programs that would be developed as a result of the Park-School Partnership's combined resources were enhanced further as new partners became part of the team. These new members realized this partnership would not only deliver what they promised, but more than we had dreamed. The Levy Committee, guided by Dr. Swinyard and Garrett Jones, has a wonderful story to share with the Spokane community. A story of large government agencies not caring who receives credit, but being more interested in delivering the benefits our Spokane community deserves. As I look upon those who are with us today, we are fortunate to have so many of Spokane's trusted storytellers with us this morning. Park Schools have worked hard to write this story, and we are pleased you will help us share it with our Spokane community. Working together, we will build a Spokane for the future, one we all are proud of. Thank you. Oops.
Right, no, I don't need that. And I'm going to be playing Council President Betsy Wilkinson's video. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see.
Hello, everyone. The initiative between Spokane Public Schools and Spokane Parks. This is a great opportunity and visionary for our city. When I look at community,
My apologies, 1 second. Okay.
look at the schools and the parks together. They anchor community. From the beginning of life till the end of life, it will create spaces that we have not had in all our neighborhoods. And let's talk about neighborhoods. Neighborhoods are the heartbeat of our city. With the park and the school together and that collaboration, it just opens up all types of possibilities. But really, look at our seniors and our kids and how much we can impact their lives.
And thank you to Council President Wilkerson. Let me bring up the, 1 second, I'm bringing up the PowerPoint. Okay, And now I'd like to welcome Councilmember Michael Cathcart. He is our City School District Partnership Policy Committee member.
Thank you. Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Well, it's a pleasure to be here this morning, and it's great to see so many people turning out for this really amazing event. I am incredibly excited. You know, one of the things that's been on my mind today as we've been sitting here, yesterday I had the opportunity, along with Councilman Bingle, to meet with students at Regal Elementary. And talking with those kids and seeing just the cheer and joy on their faces, that's something that I just cannot wait for this partnership, for these investments to affect their neighborhoods, to see those smiles even bigger, to see more opportunity for them. And so over the last couple of years, there's been an amazing effort to put together this incredible plan on the park side, and it's right here. And this is a thick, very well thought out plan, and I'm grateful to have had an opportunity to serve on the master planning process for this. And I'm also really happy to have been able to serve on this partnership with the parks and the schools. Now, as much as I would have loved to have seen this implemented in the last couple of years, it is incredible the opportunity that we have in front of us. We can leverage these investments and accomplish so much more between the schools and the parks. For an example, we can increase maintenance staff. We can keep those bathrooms open and working. We can increase the park rangers, making sure our parks are safe, our schools are safe. This is a really amazing partnership. Now, in District 1, what I am incredibly excited about is the fact that this will result in a complete rebuild of Minnehaha Park, which is something that I have been advocating for since I got on council. In addition, it's going to be a complete rebuild of Harmon Park. And so we are going to see District 1, and this is going to affect every neighborhood in the city. Obviously, I represent District 1, and that's near and dear to my heart. But we are going to see some incredible improvements. You know, last year I walked around across our playgrounds in many of the parks in District 1. And I just saw the state of disarray in a lot of those playgrounds. Well, not anymore. Not if this passes. We're going to have play equipment that is safe, that is high quality, and that our kids want to play on. No longer the wooden boarded up pieces because something's broken and we don't have the means to fix it. With this partnership, with this levy, we are going to have the ability to address those things and to really improve our parks. So I am incredibly grateful for this. I sort of see this as the third phase in a series of collaborations. It started 10 years ago with the streets and the parks proposal that has been wildly successful, that included a rebuild of Riverfront Park. And then it included the partnership between the libraries and the schools. And now here we are with phase 3, which is an even bigger, more amazing partnership that is going to result in so much value for our community. So I am just really grateful to have had the opportunity to participate in this, but I'm even more grateful to see the turnout here because that means that there is excitement, that there is a willingness to see this pass. And I know that everybody in this room is going to go to work to make sure that that happens. So thank you all so very much.
That's a fun little stick. I haven't seen one of these before. Hello, everybody. Mayor Lisa Brown. I am so excited. Come on in, Councilmember Dillon. I'm so excited to be here. The screen says it all, Together Spokane, and this room says it all. We couldn't do this without everybody in this room. Your excitement, enthusiasm that you're here already tells me that we are headed towards success. Really fun to see the kids from all the schools and the community school where my son went, and I'm thrilled to see the teachers, staff, civic leaders. I want to start by giving a special shout out to two groups of people that I think are probably not recognized for the real effort and work and service they provide to our community. And that is, let's hear it for the school board and the parks board. It is service. They don't do this for pay and remuneration. They do it because they're excited about the vision of what we can be together. Let's think about it. This initiative, this plan, will benefit not only all of our students in one way or another, but really it impacts every neighborhood. All 29 neighborhoods get a project in this. No one is left out. And all our parks will see improvements. That's all 90 parks. I intend to go to every single one of those 90 parks this year. Who's with me? Let's visit every one. And it's really about health and activity and community. As Spokane gets larger, a larger city has city problems, and what ties it together as a community? What brings us to our roots of who we are? Neighborhoods, schools, and parks. And by doing all of this work together, we save money for taxpayers, and we're a pretty thrifty community, and we just create more than we ever could have done on our own. So I couldn't be more excited about it. Now I want to introduce you to the two fellas that have been dreaming and scheming, as I told them a year ago when they first started talking to me about this, but dreaming and scheming about this for a long time. And almost every week it's like, we have another idea of how we can utilize resources together. And so we're very indebted for their leadership. You can't do it without dedicated citizen leaders, or you can't do it without leaders of organizations like this that are willing to just work hard to create this vision. So to give us the plan, well, just part of it, please, because we'd be here for hours if you gave us the whole thing. Director of Parks, Garrett Jones, and Superintendent of our schools, Dr. Adam Swinyard.
Well, thank you, Mayor Brown, and thank you for our other speakers, and thank you for everyone that took the time out of your morning to come and be a part of this announcement. One of the things that we started with in these conversations is, what's the vision for Spokane? And you heard some great examples of some incredible successes we've had in the past of how we can work together and how we can make Spokane a place that people want to live, where they want to raise their families, where they want to bring their businesses, where when they graduate, they want to stay. What is that forward-looking next step vision for Spokane? What's the next expo? What's the thing that we point to and say, we're proud to live here and look at the great things that we do together and look at the great opportunities that are inside of our city? And that was really at the heart of what this project was about. We started with 4 guiding principles. The first is we want to have a healthy, active, and vibrant community. The world has changed dramatically. Too many people are on their phones too often inside of their homes and isolated. We need every member of our community, from the cradle all the way to our seniors, active, together, in community, building relationships, in conversation with each other, sharing ideas, sharing experiences, sharing memories. And in order to do that, we need programming and infrastructure. If you just have programming and no infrastructure, then you have to turn people away. And we've been doing that. We have historic demand for some of our recreational spaces. If you have just infrastructure and no programming, then you have spaces that sit empty. You need both to have a vibrant community.
The next one is a big one for us, really responding to the stakeholder input. The power of listening is pretty powerful. And through our master plan process, surveys with the school district, surveys from the city, reaching out to the neighborhood, going to the neighborhood rather than the neighborhoods coming to us, having those interactions, they have told us loud and clear, we want you to invest in us. We want you to invest in our neighborhoods. And that power of listening is what we continue to strive on as we continue this partnership.
The next was collaboration and smart government. We've heard that resoundingly clear from our community. They want us to be smart. They want us to be efficient. They want us to work together. They don't want us to be in silos. They don't want us to waste time or money or resources or human capital. They want us to do things together. And that was a key part of this. And it requires giving and taking. It requires compromise, and it takes a lot of time. But we hope what you're going to see today is the fruits of those efforts are pretty powerful.
And then lastly is really the position Spokane of the city of choice. We want people to stay, live, work, recreate, raise a family here. We don't, and you know, we do have some transplants that come back, but we want to create that vibrant place that we all feel proud of. That we feel proud of our neighborhoods, we feel proud of our schools, and we feel proud of our active and open spaces that we have within our community.
So what you see here is a map. The blue dots are the projects that were on the school district's bond in the February of 2024 that did not pass, received 57% of the vote. The majority of the community said yes, but bonds require a supermajority.
And then the green dots that you see on the map was originally a part of the park levy that did not get on the ballot, but we had the implementation and the plan ready to go.
I was having a conversation with Dr. Gary Livingston, longtime superintendent, chancellor of the community college, talking with him about this. And after hearing about what we've come up with, he said, it was obviously heartbreaking to not pass a bond, but it might have been the best thing that ever happened to Spokane. And by working together and coming back to the table and conducting this study, we've come up with 30 additional projects that the community would receive.
So when we look at doing more together, what does this mean? So on the map that you see on the left, that was when originally the school bond and the city levy would have been an investment of the taxpayers for 31 cents per thousand. But now the power of partnership and the power of listening and communicating and working together, not only can we get the parks and the schools, but now those 30 additional projects for 29 cents per thousand, which is originally what Parks was asking for to start. And I'd say too, a lot of this too is with our partners that we're going to mention here today, because we've been overwhelmed as far as the partners and the outside coming to us wanting to be a part of this proposal.
And one of the ways that we've made this happen and you get to that value proposition is by sharing resources, sharing property, sharing space, sharing programming, but also having more people come to the table. Almost $11 million have been pledged by private dollars from local organizations to make this partnership happen. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a quick flyover of some of the featured projects. As we close, all of you will be getting a copy of a program that outlines all the partnerships as part of this initiative so you can learn more and get a little further into the weeds.
So the first project, and we'll try to go quick, our communications team keeps saying, go, go, go. Indoor public aquatic centers. Now, every master plan that we've had since the early 2000s has always identified an indoor aquatic center. It was also a second-tier priority within our current master plan to provide that service. We have beautiful outdoor recreational aquatic centers. They're open 10 weeks out of the year. We know financially, though, to be able to achieve something like that is north of $100 million to be able to provide this type of service. So through partnerships and the partnerships with Spokane community colleges, we're going to be able to invest and renovate and program the empty indoor aquatic center at the SCC campus. And what does this do for us? We have a high demand of swim lessons in our community, kids that want to learn how to swim. We also have a high demand of lap swim and programming time. We also have a high demand around lifeguard training and being able to integrate our high schoolers as an opportunity for a first job. The one that is very exciting for us is the opportunity now for therapeutic recreation program in our community. People of autism, the number one causing death of people of autism is drowning, but we do not have the infrastructure and resource to be able to provide that, and this facility does.
The other thing this will provide is our goal is to have every second grader participate in an in-the-school day swimming lesson experience. No family in Spokane should ever lose a child to drowning because they don't know how to swim. That should never happen, and we should never accept that. And we can, through collaboration, move really close to that goal of every kid in the community having that swim lesson experience. We're also going to be adding high school swim team in all of our high schools. Great opportunity for kids to be active. Again, we want them engaged in real life every day, off of their phones, out of their homes, doing things that are active. The next project is, we had planned to always build a new elementary at Madison, and that's one of our oldest schools. But we stepped back in this partnership and we said, does it make sense just to build schools by themselves? And we've had a focus group, and you're going to be hearing from a representative from that focus group towards the end of our time together. And that focus group really pushed on us to say, does that make sense? So we stepped back and we said, maybe we shouldn't be building schools anymore. Maybe what we should be doing is building community centers. And then what's in a community center? So let's have a school in a community center. Let's invite a community partner to provide youth programming. And then let's make sure that there is a large recreational space. So the new Adams Elementary will also be a Boys and Girls Club, and it will have a 5-court field house inside of it. Helps meet the demand for court space. We're bursting at the seams. We went from 900 kids playing youth basketball to 4,000. We're bursting at the seams in adult rec. You name it, there's a demand for space. This meets a really incredible need in an important part of the city that can use revitalization. And again, this happens through partnerships. The Boys and Girls Clubs is contributing dollars to this project. Hoop Fest, thank you to Rick Betts and Riley Stockton. They've come forward and committed $1 million to this project to make it happen. These things can happen when we all work together. We're so excited about this asset being at Franklin Park.
In Franklin Park, for us, this is one of our highest investment zones that we have identified through our master plan. Off of Division on a public transit line at Franklin Park. So this will now create a vibrant campus atmosphere. Not only that will benefit the community for the indoor court space, but we'll also be renovating the Franklin Park sports complex as well. New lights, additional lights, renovations to the fields to really activate this space and really be that economic boost to Northtown and the businesses around this area that are in desperate need.
And you never know where you're going to find a partner. And so it would be very cost prohibitive to put in a 5-court field house with wood floors. We met with the Pacific Northwest qualifier. I saw Mike and April are both here this morning. And we said, what are you doing with your portable courts? 2 weekends out of the year, they put their portable courts all over the community. They have a large volleyball tournament. And we said, if we can partner, would you let us use some of those courts for this field house? And you know what they said? They said, we'll do one better. We will buy new courts for this facility if we can access it for our tournament, and then the community can have it year-round. Community partners stepping up. Everybody gives something to get something. The next project is Adams Elementary. It's one of our oldest schools, and we continued that concept of let's not just build schools by themselves. So this will be a south side location for the Boys and Girls Club. It's a part of our community where we have families that are experiencing poverty. We have some large apartments that have gone in that part of the city, and we need youth programming. The highest percentage of youth crime happens between 3 and 7 p.m. Not only do we want them off of their screens and out of their homes to be healthy, but we need them active doing things that are positive. A strategy for us to reduce youth crime is to give the kids something to do in an activity. We need SPD spending their time dealing with the big adult issues, not dealing with kid issues, and we can do proactive, preventative things to mitigate that.
Another big one for us that was outside of the original plan is the high demand on outdoor field space. Right now, our highest capacity and demand that we have in Spokane is spring and fall. Guess what? Weather in Spokane is unpredictable in spring and fall, and also we have no light in spring or fall to really expand that. And so what this does, it really takes it to the next level to where we're going to have an all-weather synthetic field that would be lit at each one of our neighborhood high school boundary areas, and we'll get into a little bit more detail. Because what this does for us, currently we have soccer clubs and soccer teams, 8 teams per field. We have 2 all-weather fields within our community. Also, if you drive by Rogers High School or Harmon Park on a given night, you'll see youth and adults trying to play soccer or a pickup game in the pitch black. So how can we expand that opportunity and have that positive impact?
So one of those projects as part of our all-weather field initiative is the Merkel Complex. One of the discussions that happened when we relocated the downtown stadium with the support and the partnership of the PFD was what do we do with the Albee land? And part of that discussion in 2018 is how could we expand Merkel to meet the demand of field space, and also how could we attract large regional tournaments? We have lots of kids that they can't travel out of town. It's cost prohibitive. We have families that do make that trip and are spending thousands of dollars. we can attract those large regional tournaments here. So this meets the day-to-day need. It also allows us to keep our families and attract others to our community. So this partnership would expand Merkel from 2 all-weather fields with lights to 8. We have a local soccer club that is we're partnering with to support that development. We have other partners coming to the table that want to contribute as well.
The next one is at Ferris, and here's another opportunity as we look at efficiencies. How do we look at limiting duplications or duplicating infrastructure? And here's an opportunity, and we have representatives today from SYSA and the Spokane Youth Sports Association to look at combining resources to provide the biggest benefit to the community. And so what this will do is an all-regional field at the Ferris High School where the track is currently, but then the bottom picture you can really see this really expands on the opportunities around youth sports, high school sports, community sports, an all-weather infield baseball facility that would be lit as well, and that multi-use that you see in the center. Right now, it's hard to program that in the spring. Drainage is an issue in this area of the city. And so this would really, again, expand that capacity to give more opportunity for our youth to recreate.
Sharing resources, there's already parking, there's already restrooms, there's already concessions. One of our partners that is going to be contributing to this project is Spokane Youth Sports Association. They've come forward, and not that we're competitive, but I think we all are a little. They've pledged $5 million to this initiative, so a round of applause for SYSA. I know Rick's competitive, so we're going to put that out there to Hoop Fest.
You do, this is like a bidding thing now too, Rick.
Yeah.
Do I hear 6?
The next project is North Central High School. So we had planned to finish modernizing North Central High School, and as part of this partnership, that project will include an all-weather field with lights for their football field, their baseball field, and their softball field. Not only will this be great for kids, it provides an asset in the city core. We have lots of young professionals that want to work, they want to live, and they want to recreate in the city core. And we want to keep them there to the greatest extent possible. So this is an opportunity not only to provide that space for kids, but also great access to the adult professionals and the West Central neighborhood.
Yeah, and it really gives us an opportunity. As you know, we have barriers for our youth in the West Central neighborhood. To give this access at this facility and that outdoor recreational center will really be able to expand these possibilities.
The next one is Spokane Public Schools is going to be opening a new high school. This high school will be placed on the community college campus. Dr. Brockbank wasn't able to be here today, but I did see Dr. Hunt in attendance. There she is back there. We're really excited about this partnership. It'll be a full day 9th through 12th grade high school. In the program, in 9th and 10th grade, they'll work with SPS staff. And then in 11th and 12th grade, it'll work on a running start model. They will enter a 2-year technical degree program. These kids are going to walk across the stage with their high school diploma and their 2-year technical degree. Amazing opportunity for kids. It also meets significant workforce demands that we have in our local economy. We got a call that we weren't expecting. And that was from the United States Tennis Association. And they said, we've heard what you're doing, and we would love to be a part of it. And we invited them to town, and they are going to make a pretty significant contribution to this as well.
Yeah, and what that looks like currently is they have selected Shadle Park and Shadle High School. And if you don't know, this is a perfect model of what a partnership looks like between city, utility, library, park, and school. They're going to be coming in and funding a fully enclosed indoor tennis facility over the existing tennis courts. We're actually going to add 2 additional courts. What does this do for us? It expands the opportunity. It allows us to host district and state tournaments for our high schoolers, but also around programming. Those are the pickleball. Those are the pickleball people. Yeah. The pickleball people are the pickleball people. Okay. Are we good? All right. All right.
Yeah, so this is going to be an amazing opportunity for Shadle Park. The USTA is going around the country and picking locations that they think have mission alignment to invest in. So they will fully fund this indoor facility. Part of the partnership will contribute to some restrooms and some amenities to make it very accessible. There are 0 public tennis facilities in our region. This will be the first one.
Not only do they build it, but then they help program as well. They have great therapeutic youth recreation programs that are going to be in, so 365 days out of the year, 24/7, this is going to be used.
And we're taking care of pickleball too. So
Yeah.
the field house at Madison, the park upgrades, we're going to have pickleball and tennis people all very happy in Spokane. The next project is we're really looking closely at the Utah Valley. And we know we have significant growth in that part of the city, lots of conversation about investments in infrastructure. The school district has owned property in this part of the community since 1996. And so as part of this partnership, we're going to be doing some master planning for what a future elementary would look like, in addition to the park property that's owned on this site. It's right across from Qualchin Golf Course. And so it's a 10-acre city park. And then it would be the 5 acres that the school district has owned since 1996 would be master planned for a future elementary.
All right, and part of this plan too, we have a desire that every resident within the city of Spokane has a 10-minute walk to a park or open space. And so how do we achieve that? Through this partnership, we're going to be developing 3 new parks. We touched on the Latah Qualchin Hills. That meets a need and a gap in a high growing area within our community. Next, one of the highest growing areas in our community is North Indian Trail. We have about 16 acres that's set aside for a community park. This now would be able to provide that resource in North Indian Trail that takes away that gap. The next one that we have is in North Shiloh Hills neighborhood. A lot of density, multifamily, high dense residential, but no park space. So a part of this would be acquiring and also developing a new park in the Shiloh Hills neighborhood. Councilmember Cathcart mentioned this, 3 renovations. We want the community to have identity of their regional asset and their regional draw. So full renovations of Harmon, Minnehaha. If you haven't been to Minnehaha, has such great potential. And then Grant Park adjacent to Grant Elementary in the Perry District.
So a partnership that we didn't necessarily expect as we were reaching out and asking people about their needs was the Museum of Art and Culture. It's an absolute gem. We need to bring more awareness to that asset in our community. We need more kids, more families, more people from out of town coming and seeing this incredible asset. But they have a challenge. 13,000 square feet of their facility is for exhibit space, and they use that for their national traveling shows, which are really important to their model. The vast majority of their facility is used for storage. They're our local historical society, and all of our local history is in storage because they don't have the space to display it. We're really fortunate, Wes is here with us today, and he's got some experience from some other communities where they partnered together to share storage space. And so as part of this partnership, the school district has storage needs, the city has storage needs, the MAC has storage needs, and we're going to partner together to provide that space so that the MAC can open up square footage at their facility to show our local history and art for our kids, for our families, for our community members, and also to attract visitors to Spokane. We want that local history out for the community, and so we're really excited about this opportunity. The Joint Storage and Operations Center that will be part of this project will also allow the school district to consolidate. It's one of the things that we heard, followed up from our recent bond, is how can you be more efficient? How can you be more creative? How can you have better, smart government? And so as part of this initiative, we're going to be relocating our district office to a building that we've purchased in the University District. We're going to be proposing, the school board will be receiving that proposal soon to make it official, that the community school will be relocating to this new beautiful building. So we're going to co-locate a district office and a school together. Again, smart government. Why have separate buildings? Kids and adults, we can share spaces together. In fact, that will tremendously benefit many of the adults to see the kids on a regular basis. We'll save almost $300,000 a year just by moving our central office. And we're going to be able to consolidate 4 other properties across the community. Again, saving dollars, being more efficient, going into partnerships together to maximize every dollar. Some just additional projects, and we're going to pick up the pace here. We're also, as part of this initiative, there'll be some pretty significant upgrades to Gary Middle School in the northeast, as well as Chase in the southeast. Hopefully, at this point, you're starting to see every neighborhood is getting significant investments. Every neighborhood are getting projects. That includes all of our other 54 schools. Every year over the 6 years of this bond would get some type of improvement. Could be paint, could be carpet, could be HVAC, could be fixing a parking lot. When you have 58 buildings, if you don't do regular care and feeding, then they get outdated really, really quickly. And so this has been part of an over 30-year plan to steady as you go, keep our schools in good working order. We're also going to be integrating school playfields. The playfield across from this facility has been locked up 24/7. There's kids just down the block on a sunny day that couldn't get in and get to that green space. We can do better. And if we work together and partner, we can make sure that every school playfield is a park after hours. We're also going to be opening up access to our 5 high school auditoriums. It's been something that's been really difficult to provide access to because you need a technician and it can be cost prohibitive. There's lots of amazing technology as proved by even this facility. You can walk to the wall and you can push drama performance or music performance or town hall, and the lights and the sound auto configure. We're going to make those investments so that if you're a piano teacher, you could rent Lewis and Clark's auditorium and have your piano rehearsal. Or if you want to have a town hall, you can make that happen. Or if you're part of a small business or a local nonprofit that does drama performances, you can use these spaces too. They belong to all of us, and we want to make sure everybody has equal access. And then I mentioned the joint operations and storage facility that will allow that consolidation and the expansion of the MAC.
And then on the park side, we heard loud and clear from the community. We love what you do, but could you do it a little bit better? Have a higher level of service in our parks. And to be able to do that, that's why we've switched to this levy model now that gives us the opportunity to invest in capital, but also now have the investment on the operations side. So we'll see enhanced daily maintenance across our entire park system, whether that's responding to repairs, vandalisms, roving and cleaning restrooms, and being present on our park spaces to increase that level of service. Next one that the community told us loud and clear, restrooms in parks. Big one. Big one for us. Every restroom gets renovated or replaced within our system. What does that do for us? It increases accessibility, enhances safety improvements in the restrooms, and then can also expand the hours and seasonality of our restrooms as well. Because we know when we have families using our parks or having sporting events and there's no restroom facility, we can do better. All 54 playgrounds within our system get replaced or renovated. We have not had a significant, we have not had a significant investment in our playgrounds in decades. And our operations team has done a great job of trying to maintain what they have, but when you have a playground from the 70s still, it has seen its useful life. And so this is going to give us an opportunity of every playground, of accessibility improvements, and we want kids to be able to design. So we're going to show you a little bit later of these tools we're going to be able to use that every kid is going to have an opportunity in their neighborhood to tell us what they want to see in their playground. We're also going to do trailhead improvements as well in our natural spaces around wayfinding and safety improvements and accessibilities. And then also, we want our parks to be outdoor learning centers for our youth. We want these to be destination locations for our youth in our schools.
And back to partnerships, we have a bus. We're going to go 30 minutes up the road to an outdoor learning center and come back. It's opening up the community to these types of spaces, and it's opening up learning outside of the classroom.
And then real quickly on these as well, just amenity improvements, lighting, parking lots, striping, pathways, sidewalks, widespread improvements, 14 sport courts renovations across our entire city. pickleball, tennis, basketball, a new pump track, a new disc golf course. Can you believe it or not, we still drag hoses. It's 2025 and we're still dragging hoses in some of our parks. This takes care of that. We're able to now add that addition of efficiency, but then also it increases the level of service. When we're watering our parks during the day, these are spaces that can't be used by the public. And then also now giving us the resources around our natural lands management, whether that's wildfire risk mitigation, restoration efforts, we are now able to tackle that within our partnership.
So we mentioned it's not just about infrastructure, it's also about programming. And so one of the parts of this partnership and programming is going to be a pretty significant expansion to limited commission park rangers.
And a part of that now is a lot of them are centralized in Riverfront Park. We're going to go to a district model to where we're going to have more than double the park ranger capacity, that you're going to have a district that you now patrol proactively, and that'll be the Northwest, the Northeast, downtown, and the South Hill. And a part of that now is when we look at the efficiencies, when school grounds now become parks after hours and on the weekends, combining resources and continuing to expand our Special Commission Park Ranger program. So now we have the ability to patrol park grounds and school grounds in each one of the district. And that creates ownership too with the neighborhoods. This creates a more proactive approach moving forward that we think will have a significant impact.
So moving into the future, if you're in a park or you're on a school property after hours, you're going to see park rangers in those spaces. And we want to activate these spaces with programming, we want to invest in them with lighting, and we want to make sure that we have the right staffing in place to respond to any issues and do that preventative work, but also the unfortunate reactive things that sometimes have to take place.
And similar on the maintenance and operations side. As an example, Shadle Park, we have 2 mowing groups that go up to the same facility that have an imaginary line of you mow this half, we mow this half. We're going to be able to come up with a district model as well to where we can build on those efficiencies to be able to share those resources so we can spend more time at these facilities around the detailed work of picking up the trash, doing trimming, just that curb appeal that the residents and the community deserve and want, and this gives us that efficiency to be able to achieve that.
Another part of this is right now, if you're a community member and you want to find a field for your team, you have to log on to a city website and see if they have any available, and then you have to log on to a school district website and see if they have any space available. We can do better. And so as part of this initiative, we'll be co-locating all of our assets, all of our properties on one website so the community can go on there and have that ease of access to be able to access these spaces. And then the last partnership piece is the further we go upstream, the farther our dollar goes. The research is really clear. And the more that we invest in our kids and the more we invest in early learning, the less challenges we're going to have downstream. And so as part of this partnership, it expands our elementary footprint so we can continue to have space for our preschool programming, which is in each of our 34 schools. And another critical part of that is that we are promoting our private child care and preschool providers and supporting them and lifting them up and making sure that our families are aware of the services that are incredible that they provide. So part of this initiative is we're working on launching a website this fall. Well, it'll be a community directory. If you're looking for childcare or preschool, you shouldn't have to call and leave messages all over the city. You shouldn't have to wonder and wait for a call back to know if they have space. We're going to locate all that information on one platform for ease of access, public providers, private providers, all working together. We need each other in order to meet the need. And this website is going to help provide that connective tissue that no family in Spokane should go without childcare and no kid should go without early learning. And then as we mentioned, we need this not just for kids, but we need it for adults. Every kid, every adult, every day, active, in community, in experiences that are away from your homes and off of your screens. That's
Well, it's great to be here with all of you. I'll tell you, I'm here because I was on the Citizens Advisory Group. So I spent several Friday mornings with friends like Marcus Riccelli and Letitia Hill and so many others to really be a sounding board for these two great leaders. You know, and it's pretty amazing. We don't get here without agencies coming together, and that's what it's all about. You've heard so much of that today. But I really see it in three ways. I see it about the people. I see it obviously about the partnerships, and I see it also about the programming. But let's start with people. First and foremost, it was talked about. These two leaders and the leaders of these organizations listened to the people. They didn't only listen, though, because you can listen, that's passive. They engaged them. And I always strive to engage those that are part of our community to really understand what is needed and to have them be part of the solution. Also, through these people, the leadership of these organizations, and listening to the people that are going to ultimately use these, our citizens, our neighbors, and our friends, it is the key to making sure that we use the most out of the taxpayers' investment in these. So how do you make that happen? You make it through partnerships. This type of collaboration does not happen easily amongst government entities, to say the least. But what is more exciting, or as exciting, especially someone in the private sector today, is to see the private investment. To hear about those that have the confidence in government today, which often lacks across our country and in our own community, but to hear that private investment, that those resources from those small nonprofits to those individuals to other corporations to say this is a smart investment. That takes huge. I don't know whether I've ever seen that level of contribution ever in this community, and to hear it already, and guess what? Today is the beginning of that. Often they talk about the quiet phase of fundraising. I would suggest that's what the last several months have been. It could only imagine what happens if we're already seeing national attention today in the area of tennis, what that national attention will be for so many other areas. So we have people, we have partnerships, but it really is about the programming. Dr. Springer talked about it. You know, you build facilities, I'll be honest. When we did the last one of these and we're sitting in this building we are today, I was thinking that this was the first time I'd been in it, believe it or not. I pass by it all the time. My office is only a few blocks down, but I started thinking, I'm like, no, it hasn't, and I was trying to remember. I was in here with a community group that I'm on the board of. I was in here looking at an artist friend of ours and really trying to understand what it was, because I'll be honest, when this idea came up, I was like, a library that is a place for artists. This doesn't quite, and there's no books, you know? But I'll tell you, when you literally engage and maybe really strive, push your brain to think about things, that really that's what they're about. And often libraries are a place that we can engage in community conversation that sometimes is challenging or challenges us. Like whether that be in art or challenging conversations, but that's what this is about, but it's about the programming. And I want to just for a moment, how many of you have heard ALICE? The acronym ALICE. Asset Limited, Income Constrained, but Employed. Does anybody know, for a household of 4 people, 2 adults, 2 kids, one that's in preschool, so early learning, the other that's a full-time student, what is the annualized cost of living for that household in Spokane, in the city of Spokane? Anybody guess? Mayor's not allowed to answer. No. Former mayor can't say that to the current mayor. Go right ahead. No, yeah. You'd be surprised, and this is 2022 numbers, because this is a survey that's done across the country, and of course it takes the time to compile that. And we all have known what's happened in the last 3 years, so in my opinion, this is a low number, probably 10, 15% low. $92,520. $92,250. I would suggest, at least, and it's only been 5 short years that I used to work at City Hall, that that's up dramatically. Anybody want to know what the number 1 expense is? Childcare. Actually, I would suggest maybe they'd be about the same right now. If you go to it, you can go to our United Way, our County United Way. Housing for this family is at $1,000. I say BS. It's much higher than that today. But again, they were using 2022 numbers, so that's the reality. And then, but so you can put it in your own head what that really is today. So that 92,000 is, I would say, north of six figures today. Number one is childcare at $2,000 a month. And so as I look at it, and so some might say, oh, ours is lower than, again, plus or minus. So when I think about what it is for that family, and I pushed over and over again as we sat in these committee meetings, is where are you taking costs off their budget? And you can go look at this budget. It really is eye-opening. And you're like, oh yeah, that makes, oh yeah, you know, when you go down, all of a sudden, you're there, right? At some $7,000 a month. So that's what it's about. It's about the programming. You saw it, the early learning, such a critical component, meeting the top expense for a family of four in our community. It's about after-school activities because they can't afford to put their kids in club sports or after-school activities. Now they can do that at no cost. You know, I was talking earlier to my friends from Ferris, and it's good to see you this morning. They're like, we're still here. But they were talking, I go, why the heck are you here? And they go, well, we're the theater guys and gals, and we're so excited about what's happening in the theaters. And so that's the type of programming that not only can happen during the school hours, but after the school hours, and perhaps in the theater groups that they belong to outside of the school. And so to me, as I finish, I think it is all, yes, it is about the people. It's about the people we serve. It is about the people that make this happen. Because this does not need to happen except for people that are just focused on how to make it better. It is about partnerships. You can't do it alone, and it's messy and it's tough, and the lawyers and accountants have to get involved to figure out how to make sure this stuff all works. But it really is about the programming for the people of our community. You know, it is in every neighborhood. That's pretty cool. It's going to impact every household in our city. In a nutshell, like I said for several years, building the city of choice is paramount. People have a choice. We should be that choice. We are that choice. And this is just a component of doing that. Thank you.
For those words and that inspiration about Spokane being the place where anyone that wants to live in the Pacific Northwest, this is where they want to be. We're going to be launching some informational material this morning. We'll have a website that's going to go out where you can look at all the projects. There's an interactive map. You can see all the different aspects of this initiative, as well as give input. We've got some programs that are coming out to you now that you can take home with you and look through. There's QR codes available to those, but we just couldn't be more grateful for your time this morning and really are asking for your help in getting out the information.
Yeah, so please take a look at the website. Every single project is on there. You can leave comments, you can leave questions, but really appreciate your time. And with that, we just want Mayor Brown just to close us out and take us home. And again, thank you.
Okay, thank you. My 20s, in the 1980s, you kids can do the math, and I will say that in all the roles I've had as legislator and at WSU Spokane, go Cougs, right, Garrett? And at the State Department of Commerce, I have never been more proud of this city. Do you agree with me? And just one little note here as well. It's exciting to see people come together. We don't have to agree on everything to share this vision and work together to achieve it. And so that's a key point. And Councilmember Dillon and board members and others who have put themselves on ballots, like Councilmember Cathcart and former Mayor Condon, we're all here together because, as I said, it's not about the things we've disagreed on, it's the things we agree on together, and that is our families and our future in Spokane. Thank you all for being here.